It's almost here. We are so close. The release of Dark Souls Remastered. Thank God, too. I really need something easy to play after playing Color Jumper. Praise the sun.
So, I'm no politician, which is my subtle way of saying that I'm going to be completely transparent with you all. I'm friends with the developer of Color Jumper, Ben Burns, a talented musician who not only made this game, but also has his own YouTube channel, links in description, where he hosts music making challenges, and even posts motivational videos. What a nice guy! Or is he? For you see, it was in playing this game that I uncovered the disturbing truth behind what is really lurking beneath that kind-hearted exterior. A tainted, corrupted soul of a madman. And by that I mean, this game is hard. Like, oh my god, what the hell is wrong with you, you sick monster kind of hard? I mean, we're talking NES hard here. So much so that even some of the achievements like to mock you over it. Like this one you get for dying over 500 times. One that I unlocked well before reaching the halfway point of the game. Yeah, just call me the achievement hunter. But I suppose it doesn't actually tell you much about the game, now does it? So let's really jump in, shall we? And rotate, and die, and rinse and repeat. A lot. Color Jumper, while appearing pretty basic at first glance, is an expertly crafted platform puzzle game similar to titles like Super Meat Boy and N+, where the goal is deceptively easy, challenging you to simply reach the exit of the stage using nothing more than jumping, rotating, and color matching. But what really pulls it all together is just how creative and well crafted every level is around these simple mechanics, as well as just how much can be expressed and changed with just so few assets. Now, Ben Burns can be said to be a lot of things. A creator, a gamer, a demon trying to steal your soul, a motivator, but probably above all else, he's a musician. But a digital artist though? Well, that doesn't rank nearly as high. And looking at Color Jumper, I think that's kind of obvious. The graphics in this game are pretty basic, like Newgrounds Flash games basic, which actually works for it, but at the same time, kind of works against it. Let's face facts here. Even if you exclude the big name publishers and their AAA titles, there are still hundreds upon hundreds of games on Steam alone. And with the barrier of entry as low as it's ever been, that number is only going to rise, making standing out no easy task, especially with such stylistic competition. I mean, hey, they can't all be speedy dragons, sentient meat men, evil cartoons, or Monica. What I'm trying to say is I guess they can just be Monica. But what I'm really trying to say is that the graphics don't really help Color Jumper to stand out. And this evil little Rubik's Cube isn't exactly a character that players can attach themselves to. But then again, though bringing all these flaws to light doesn't mean that the visuals in Color Jumper are bad, because they're not. If nothing else, they're efficient. They work really well in that they create a set of rules that players can understand and comprehend quickly in ever-changing scenarios, such as any black space will kill you, whether it be a bullet, a wall, or these obnoxiously placed bars that always seem to be in just the right spot to kill me when I'm doing really good. Yeah, I don't hate those at all, clearly. Likewise, colored walls give way to transparency puzzles, specific platforms, colored geysers, I hate these things, and enemy weaknesses. All things that a player can swiftly and easily identify to work around, or more likely to get killed by. But overall, the visuals work in promoting ever-evolving gameplay, even if little things like enemy design leaves a lot to be desired. But credit where credit's due. Color Jumper actually sports something that even most AAA titles lack: a colorblind setting. Yeah, so let's show a little love for such a well-intended attention to detail. Plus, it also takes away any excuses colorblind people might use to try and justify their repeated deaths. So, hooray for fairness? And speaking of fairness, as I said before, Ben isn't exactly a visual artist per se, he's an audio one, basically making a game for the sake of making music for a game. It definitely feels like the roundabout way to go about it. It's like getting a job at Pizza Hut just so you can get a pizza. Pizza, totally worth. But still, you gotta admire that determination, and while you're at it, admire the music. Sadly though, I fall into the visual artist category, if you couldn't tell. So, like usual, I doubt I can do the audio the justice it really deserves here. But I do know what I like, and I know what works. And the music in Color Jumper nails both. The music here absolutely has that puzzle game charm to it, reminiscent of classics like Tetris. It starts out pretty chill, but it evolves, gains some energy and some tension the more you die or the longer you go. And despite my ever-growing frustration, the music did have a bit of a calming effect. But it never felt slow either. It was just right. Almost ambiotic in a way, which is good, because you really got to get into that groove if you want to make it to the end of this one. Mastery is the key. Color Jumper, as stated before, is a very deceptively simple game that uses a very simple mechanic. Basically, it works like this. Every time you jump, you rotate 90 degrees. Using this knowledge, you need to reach the exit of each stage. Again, very simple. But it's amazing just how much that mechanic forces you to think ahead as well as just twitch react. And sure, it seems simple enough, but the mechanics evolve as the game proceeds, requiring you to really think more and more. Let's look at the colored platforms and objects. They only become solid if you land on them with the matching color. Otherwise, this happens. Or this. Or this. And sometimes you just need to make a color solid to use it as a shield. Really, all the variety in the ways this mechanic is manipulated is just so impressive. But more so in the way that a mad genius is technically impressive. I mean, sure, they're still geniuses after all, but we often tend to be a little distracted by the whole mad part of it. And you'll definitely be feeling mad when hopping between colors that aren't side by side on our quadrilateral friend here. And then this happens. I have died so many times when frantically trying to rotate midair. Ben, buddy, amigo, monster, if you ever make a sequel, how about an option to turn counterclockwise as well, But while I'm on it, I need to mention the controls. Now, a game like this can only work if the controls are tight. And while I only use the controller, after all, I'm not a savage, I can absolutely say that they are. But the physics do take some getting used to, and will probably result in some unfair feeling deaths while you do. Or maybe I just suck. You decide. As if the commenters won't anyway. Breaking it down, you feel like a lightweight character in that you get good jump distance, and that you shatter like glass when you die. So it kind of makes sense. But what tends to throw me off a bit is that you drop like a brick. Though that's probably just nitpicking at this point. And we're not even gonna get into the whole timing of standard bullets or the sheer WTF of the homing ones. But what is worthy of note is that surprisingly, this game has boss battles, and pretty good ones too. I really didn't expect that from a game with an aesthetic like this, but here it is. And honestly, that's how I felt about the game most of the way through. I simply wasn't expecting such a well-tuned, finely crafted platformer that just keeps going and evolving through its 100 plus levels, with the ones after 100 apparently being called the hard levels, the ones you have to unlock. To which I say, I think I hear Dark Souls calling. I gotta go. But seriously, that is both the game's greatest selling point as well as its greatest deterrent. As it stands, Color Jumper is a genuinely fun puzzle platformer with an addictive element to it. This game is at its best when you're pulling off those perfect runs with a minimum number of jumps and everything is just going your way. Even more so when you're making it happen in the time trial mode. And even if you do die, and trust me, you will, you immediately pop back in to try again. No waiting. It really makes you want to keep going. And I guess that loading screens would have been a bit too evil, eh Ben? That is, of course, until the levels just get to be too brutal. The other part of the game that I didn't expect. Levels that this game says should only take a few seconds to complete would end up taking me up to 40 minutes each. I actually asked Ben how many people have actually beaten this game, and he told me to look up the achievements comparison. Yeah, so none. Great. That definitely limits how much I can actually recommend this game to the masses.
Simply put, it's pretty hard to recommend this game for filthy casuals like you.
But really, casual gamers will probably find this one to be a bit too frustrating to complete, and probably not worth their time. This isn't Mario after all. But hardcore gamers on the other hand, I think this one is right up your alley, especially if you enjoy puzzle platformers like N+, or just hard games in general. And if you're looking for a great new challenge for streams or something to rage at on camera, well, here you go. Will you be among the few that can survive Color Jumper? Because I didn't. Hey everyone, Spammer D here. So I had a load of fun today at Ben's expense. So why not go show him some love over at his channel where he makes music and other interesting content, like the post-mortem of Color Jumper. Or if not, you could just chill here with me and watch whatever it is that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. So until next time, remember to like and subscribe, and try not to shatter into a bunch of colorful pieces. Trust me, it's not as pretty IRL. See ya.